Approximately 2 weeks have elapsed since I became aware, and I have been harboring doubts for some time now, hence my current state of feeling quite disoriented. Numerous warning signs were present, yet no definitive evidence was found. I ultimately made the decision to confront her, and her response, marked by irrational fury and shouting, "What gives you the right to accuse me of such a thing? I am not capable of cheating," convinced me of her guilt. I searched through her mobile phone and computer, but to no avail. Consequently, I procured several miniature cameras and strategically positioned them throughout the residence. Then, I went to visit some friends over the weekend. I grew up in Minnesota, close to the Canadian border. I met my wife, Lisa, in Canada when I was 20 and she was 21. She already had a 3-year-old son when we met. We hit it off, and I've been that kid's dad for the last 11 years. I love him like he's my own. We've been married for 6 years, not that it matters now. Long story short, I came home early when I knew she wouldn't be there and watched the footage. Sure enough, there she was, doing adult stuff with another guy. I recognized him as a work colleague, Mike. We were friendly with him and his wife. I used to think seeing red was just a figure of speech, but I was literally seeing red. I've never been that angry. Normally, I'm a pretty mellow guy. I never really get angry, but I just lost it. I hit the walls and kicked the bedroom door so hard it flew off its hinges and smashed the glass table we had in the living room. I bit the inside of my cheek without even noticing when I screamed, spraying blood all over the wall and floor. At some point, I managed to hit my head pretty hard, and that snapped me out of it. I looked at the carnage and knew I just had to get out of there. Had Lisa walked in at that point, I think I would be in jail. Best case for domestic violence, worst case for murder. I quickly packed a suitcase with essentials, my laptop, and my car keys. I work with simulation and modeling, and my computer is custom built, so I need it for my job. I sent a copy of the video to Mike's wife with a message that just said, "Your husband is cheating with my wife." I met my son, Jack, just outside our apartment complex. I gave him a hug, told him I would always love him, but that his mother was cheating on me, so I had to leave. I really regret telling him. He shouldn't be burdened with that, but I wasn't myself at the time, and it just came out. I tried to go to my family in Canada, but they wouldn't let me cross the border because of COVID. I've been renting an Airbnb. I'm working, but I'm like a zombie. I haven't talked to Lisa. The only person I've responded to is Jack. He's been asking me questions, and I've been honest with him as far as possible. I told him I don't know what's going to happen next, a fair partner from the divorce. I'm trying to find a good lawyer. I've received hundreds of messages from Lisa and her family. I haven't responded to any of them. My parents are the only ones who know on my side, as far as I know. I don't want to talk to my friends because they are friends with Lisa too, so I don't have much support right now. I'm afraid that if I talk to her or see her again, I'll lose it and do something I can't take back. I also don't want to lose contact with Jack, but I have no idea where to even start. I'm still boiling with rage, and I don't know how to get past that. I need to respond to Lisa at some point, but I'm so angry that I don't think I'm capable of being rational. I just wanted to try telling this to see if it helps. So far, I'd say it's made no difference at all. Update 1. I'm doing a bit better now. I actually visited a cage fighting club. I should really stress that I don't know how to fight at all. I'm not in great shape, and the few times I ended up in a fight in my youth, I got my ass handed to me. I talked to the guys at the club and explained my situation. They were surprisingly friendly and eager to help. First, they made me work out for 2 hours. When that didn't take the edge off my anger, they put me in the ring with a very experienced fighter. It was clear he was being really gentle with me, and even though I did my best, I didn't even give him a workout. It was obvious he let me punch and kick him, but he easily blocked whatever I threw at him. The few times I managed to land a blow with some force, he quickly gave me a smack back. Since I had no clue what I was doing, his gentle taps hilariously slapped me around. He would always ask if I was okay before proceeding, and even apologized a few times for hitting me during our little session when he thought he might have hit me too hard. Imagine that, a fighter apologizing for hitting the opponent in a fight. He clearly didn't see me as an opponent at all. I doubt he'd ever see me as a threat. I have newfound respect for people who know how to fight, and I'm determined to learn. These guys were the chillest people I have ever met. I want to be as calm as them. My little fight helped a lot. It really took the edge off. I don't have that burning anger anymore. I'm still pissed, but now it's manageable. I'll go back for training and more beatings. Still, I don't trust myself to meet Lisa. I've talked to Jack and told him that no matter what, we would be okay. I consider him my son, no matter what happens between his mother and me. He really appreciated that. I've talked to a few mutual friends and Lisa's parents. Apparently, she's become sort of unglued. She's been calling and talking to everyone at all hours of the day and night. She's been confessing everything to almost everyone, and even offering money to anyone who can put her in touch with me. I was considering only speaking to Lisa through a lawyer, but I can't afford that, so I've asked my cousin to act as a go-between. I gave her a few questions to put forward, and we'll see where it goes from there. I plan to contact Mike's wife next week as well. Some folks strongly suggested that I talk to Lisa and tell her that if I can't adopt Jack, I'll consider reconciliation, but I would never do that. I will not use my son as a pawn in anything, ever. As things stand now, I would love to adopt him, but only if he asks me to and only if I'm sure it's what he wants and that he isn't influenced or pressured by anyone. I think I'll get through this. I've received so much good advice on here. I feel like I have a plan now to move forward with. Update 2. Sorry for the radio silence. I've had my hands full since my last update. I see a lot of questions, so I figured it's easier just to make this update after my last update. I started calling my son Jack twice a day. He would always tell me everything was okay, but I guess it really wasn't. I was focusing on trying to get myself under control. I started going to a therapist, and that helped some. But what really changed things was when I tried boxing. The first place I visited was kind of grimy and run down, but the 5 guys there seemed to have this amazing camaraderie. I really wanted in on that. I wanted to belong there badly. They all told me I had to talk to the old man who was the owner of the place. Apparently, he decided who could join or not, and they all had a lot of respect for him. So, I was kind of apprehensive. Let's just say that the old man has an abrasive personality to begin with. He just listened. But once he started talking, I got more and more agitated. There wasn't anything specific I could put my finger on. Everything he said was true, and maybe that's what angered me, or maybe it was the tone. Like every question or sentence was an accusation of sorts. The old man made me feel like I wasn't good enough to become a member of his club, and I suddenly found myself arguing with him to let me prove that I was worthy. I still haven't figured out if he's just an or some kind of genius, but the old man has really affected my life in a very positive way, even though he's very uncomfortable to be around. I'm starting to see why people have such respect and admiration for him. The old man has helped me understand why I was so angry and how to think more clearly moving forward. It's a story in itself, but this is already getting long. So, back to the main issue. A few days after my last post, about 20 minutes after I had talked to Jack, he called me back. He was crying and apologized for lying to me. He lied when he said everything was okay at home. He went on to tell me that Lisa was just sitting in front of the TV, staring at it, even when it was turned off. He didn't have any food to eat, the house smelled, and the only thing he had eaten in the last 2 days was some sandwiches a friend's mother had made for him when he visited. Of course, I immediately rushed home. I could smell the rotten garbage in the hallway even before I got in the door. The house was an absolute filthy mess. It clearly hadn't been cleaned since I left almost a month ago. The floor was covered in crumpled up sheets of paper, an overflowing sink of dirty dishes, broken glass on the floor, and the stench of rotten garbage. It was absolutely disgusting. I went to check on Jack first. I had picked up a burger for him on the way over. I asked him to stay in his room and eat while I went to talk to his mom. I assured him everything would be okay. I was home, and I was going to take care of him. He cried and hugged me for a bit before I went to check on Lisa. That hug felt so good. I had missed him so much. I am never leaving him again. My wife, Lisa, sat staring at the screen like my son had described. What he didn't tell me was how terrible she looked. She had lost a terrifying amount of weight. She was just skin and bones. Her eyes were sunken into her head, with dark rings under them, lifeless skin, cracked lips, messy dirty hair, and filthy clothes. I grabbed a chair and sat down between her and the TV. The smell coming off her was absolutely terrible. There was a bucket on the floor, which I later found out was half full of week-old vomit. I felt a deep pain for her. I wanted to protect her, help her, make her better. For a while, I completely forgot what she had done. Seeing her like this was really painful for me. I guess in some ways, I still love and care for her, despite what she has done. That fact kind of terrifies me. Something is wrong with me, too. I didn't know what to say to her, to be honest. She was clearly not all there. She actually asked me if I was real. When I said yes, she broke down crying in a way I've never seen anyone cry before. Her crying or wailing really was so loud it startled me. Without warning, mid-scream, she either fell asleep or passed out. I put my Fitbit on her arm because I don't really know how to take someone's pulse. Her heart rate varied between 100 and 150, so I figured that's probably not good. I made sure she was in a comfortable position on the sofa and wiped the snot off her face before I ran and asked our neighbor to look after Jack while I took her to the hospital. She has been there for 7 days now. I think I'm a bit blurry on the days, to be honest. I visited once, but she got so upset from seeing me that the doctor recommended I don't visit for now. They have no diagnosis for her yet, and no idea of when or even if she will come out of it. I've been focusing on taking care of Jack. I've made sure he has regular counseling, and he looks like he is doing better now. There is no doubt he has been traumatized by this. I am drowning in guilt for my part in causing him this pain. I have been in contact with a lawyer to try to get custody rights, for obvious reasons. I don't know how that will work out. I have also prepared for divorce, but I am holding off for the time being. It took us several days to clean the house. I decontaminated the fridge with bleach, but it still smelled like rotten food, so I actually had to get a new one. I also found that Lisa had taken all my dirty laundry into bed and made a body shape out of it. It had some additions to make it look anatomically correct, and it was kind of disturbing, to be honest. I looked through all the papers she left all over the house. It's incoherent nonsense for the most part. Some pages have dates and times. I can't understand most of it. Some pages have long lines of sorry, sorry, sorry written on them. Most pages with text just transition into a wiggly line in the middle of a sentence. I don't know what to do. My anger is completely gone, replaced by sadness for the situation and for the trauma and pain inflicted on Jack. I feel bad for Lisa, but I also understand why I was angry and how I have changed to deal with the pain. I have left a huge piece of myself behind, and she caused that. I don't know if I have it in me to forgive that. A big part of my identity was being a good husband and provider for a long time. That part of me was mortally wounded by her affair. I left that part of me behind. It was just too painful to keep. It's too early to say anything about where we'll end up. For now, all avenues are open. I am still hurting and confused. I will just continue to try to rebuild my self-esteem and my self-image. If Lisa comes out of this, I will talk to her and see where I go from there. Right now, I need to focus on Jack and make sure he is okay. Sorry, this isn't anything spectacular like the other stories I have heard with principled confrontations and epic revenge. I'm exhausted and sad. I don't know what to do. It was all so clear-cut in my mind before I came back. Now, I just can't see any good way forward. Update 3. I have some questions, and maybe you can help me see things from different angles. If you're going to tell me just to divorce her, don't bother. I know that in the end, whatever happens is my choice, and I'll choose what is right for me and my family, whatever that turns out to be in the future. I haven't been sleeping much and I'm a bit dazed, so if I ramble a bit, please bear with me. I really appreciate all the different perspectives you give. It helps me think things through. Lisa is still in the hospital. She is refusing to allow anyone to see her, except for her mother. The only instruction she has given is that no one is to talk to me on her behalf or try to pressure me in any way. She has confessed to cheating to just about everybody, but not in any detail. Her calls have been panicked, along the lines of, "I cheated. He's going to leave me. What do I do?" So, people have been pretty much leaving me alone unless I have called them to ask for their help or opinion. Lisa has written me a letter that her mother handed over to me a few days ago. It is long, 32 pages. I will try to summarize the main points here. She realizes what she's done to me, our son, and us. She says she will sign any paper I put in front of her. No questions asked. Postnup, divorce papers, whatever. She also confessed to a 2-month emotional affair with another man online before the current affair started and turned physical. I didn't know about this at all, so I believe she's being honest. Her confession is very detailed, and she has given me all her login credentials to everything to confirm that she is honest and not hiding anything. She also pointed me to a thumb drive hidden in one of her drawers that contained a diary going back almost 10 years. Her diary and her letter seem to be in perfect sync from what I have read so far. She explains that the first emotional affair online was more of a game than anything else. Flirting, no sexting, or meetups. It went on until suddenly one day, she felt compelled to send this guy a message, and she immediately ended it. Then, she couldn't find the courage to tell me, but according to the diary, she was trying. When the main affair started, she was flattered and given a huge ego boost from this guy giving her attention. He is a very handsome, some guy model type, and I have met his wife. She's absolutely stunning, a 10 out of 10, jaw-droppingly beautiful. My wife's ego rush got addictive. It seems getting attention from this beautiful guy who was married to such a beautiful woman gave her a huge boost. She felt like she must be very special to outcompete his beautiful wife for his attention. She admits she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she's also genuinely confused that she was unable to stop herself. She hates herself for losing control. If I understand this correctly, the affair only turned physical once the affair partner started to lose interest in her. She started using sex to keep him interested, to keep him giving her attention. From the diary, the sex seemed to be more of a chore for her. She didn't seem to enjoy it. She did it just to get more attention, like it was a reward she gave him for that. It's clear she struggled with guilt, especially in the beginning, but she soon started to compartmentalize this. But of course, we drifted apart, and our relationship suffered while she did this. The affair was physical for 4 weeks, and they kissed and fooled around with intercourse 5 times, according to her diary and her confession. This is backed up by her location data and credit card bills for hotels, etc. The rest is history that you already know. Her letter concludes with the following: I don't know who the person was that had the affair, or at least I don't recognize myself doing it. I don't understand how I could so easily abandon my beliefs and my morals and hurt the people in my life that I love more than anything. I don't know why I wasn't able to stop myself. I will not insult you by asking you to understand or forgive me because I don't deserve understanding or forgiveness. My only hope is that I can be helpful in some way to help you and our son heal. I will do anything you ask of me without question. I will do anything if you think it might help in any way, no matter how big or small. I will live with my mother once I am released from here. I will stay away unless you ask for me. I don't want to remind you of the pain I have caused both of you with my presence. I don't have the words to tell you how sorry I am for what I did, and my greatest wish is that you heal and find someone worthy of your love who you can be with. I pray I haven't permanently destroyed your ability to trust and love someone deserving in the future. I will not be with anyone else because I'm clearly not safe to be with. I will seek to try to find and perhaps one day cure what is wrong with me, but as of today, I don't really know who I am or why I couldn't stop myself from doing these things. I knew what I did was wrong, that I was hurting everyone, myself included, but I did it anyway. I was selfish. I caused all of this just so I could feel a little better about myself for a brief moment. Once I saw the pain on your face on the camera you left behind in the bedroom, the heartbreaking pain on your face while you were watching the footage of me and the other man, I realized how delusional I was and how terrible and evil I had become. I'm afraid there is no salvation for me. I will always love you. I wish I could undo it all, take it all back, but I can't. I'm sorry. I ugly cried reading it, and I really don't know what to do. I've been up all night reading, and I am emotionally drained, confused, and unsure of everything. I watched the video again, and also the video of me going insane. I don't remember a lot of what happened. It is very painful to watch. My wife's actions are disturbing, and I keep looking at it over and over again. Why can't I stop looking at it? It is also very disturbing to watch myself go crazy, and I can't stop doing that either. I keep going back and watching it from start to finish over and over again. It's hurting me, so I don't understand why I do it. Also, is what she's saying even possible? That a person can be pulled into an affair where behavior becomes compulsive like she describes it, where it's not really a free choice anymore. Maybe someone who has been through this could share some insight. I also clearly see from her diaries that she probably developed depression about 3 years ago after her favorite aunt died. Her perspective on life becomes very dark after this, almost hopeless. I've read other stories where depression seems to cause drastic personality changes and triggers for affairs. Any insight would be appreciated. She clearly never loved any of these men. She loved the ego boost, the increased self-esteem, the rush she felt from them seemingly telling her the right things. On D-Day, she totally cut her affair partner out of her life and called his wife to tell her about the affair. I know this because the affair partner's wife told me when I met her. She actually asked me if we could have a revenge affair. She was very focused on getting revenge. Like that would help anything. But beauty aside, she is probably the most annoying woman I've ever met. Talking to her was like nails on a chalkboard. Needless to say, we will not be having an affair, and we will never ever meet in person again. I don't know what to do now. I can't sleep. I can't really think, so I could really use some help. Update 4. I have received a lot of help to better navigate this disaster. I feel like I'm back in control of things now. I've been trying to see Lisa, but she's still refusing, and her mother acts as a go-between. I tried to call her out on her promise in her letter that she would do anything if I thought it would help in any way. So, her mother relayed the message that I believed us talking would help. I also asked her to see her doctor together to help me understand. The doctor will not tell me anything without her present. I will try to be patient. In summary, I have been diagnosed with PTSD, and Lisa has been diagnosed with persistent depression and some bipolar disorder. She has a chemical imbalance in her brain, and they are trying out different medications for her. Many of you were right. Her condition made her vulnerable. Then a predator crossed her path, and here we are. Her affair partner has been cheating consistently on his wife throughout their entire relationship with multiple women in parallel. Most of the time, they are divorcing. The affair partner has been beaten up a bit, not badly, from what I've heard. His wife called the husbands of most of the women he has had affairs with. I have a friend staying with me most days to keep me focused, and I'm going camping with my son this weekend. I was trying to confirm if the descriptions in her diary were correct, that she considered the sex a chore. Watching her disconnected behavior and facial expressions in the video, she is basically just waiting for it to be over. I have not decided what to do, but I have deleted the video of her and of me going crazy. It was just causing me pain, and I couldn't put it away. One part of me is screaming to just walk away, to run and find someone else. What if she cheats again? How can I trust her? Can I get rid of the movie running on a loop in my mind? Will I divorce her in a few years because I can't get past this? I struggle a lot with these types of questions. But divorce would definitely mean that I lose daily contact with my son, and there is no doubt that he needs me at least for now. He is terrified of being abandoned, not surprising considering recent events. I think if I leave his mother now, it would make things worse for him. If I can leave her like she is now, what's preventing me from leaving him? He will probably see it like that. The two of us have started going to the boxing gym together, and we are bonded stronger than ever. Being there for my son is giving me tremendous strength and motivation to face this with an open mind. He is leaning heavily on me at the moment, so even if I decide to divorce, I'm not sure if I could actually go through with it in the short term. He has begged me not to leave him again. The 2 weeks I was away were very traumatizing for him, and I'm not exposing him to that again. There is no telling how long it will take for his mother to stabilize enough to be a good parent for him again. If I divorce now, maybe she'd never recover. Even if I divorce her, I will still have the pain. I will still have the scars. I will bring that into any new relationship. I think that would greatly reduce the chances of such relationships being successful. Isn't it just as well that I am with her while I try to heal? At least she will know why I am acting like this and understand why I am struggling. If I leave her, what is really waiting for me out there? Single women my age seem to be either divorced for good reasons, or they are so desperate to have children that they will go for anyone. They are not really considering if the person they choose is a good long-term partner for them. They seem very willing to play a role just to get into a relationship that cannot last long-term. I think it seems to me there is a high risk of a string of relationships that are doomed to begin with because one party is desperate. Dating strangers and random hookups don't really appeal to me. Also, how long would it take me to find someone who understands me as well as my wife? She is the only person in my entire life that I felt she actually really gets me, and it took a long time to get to that point. Isn't that something I could use in my own healing? Would I ever be able to find someone again who could do that? How long would that take? There is no guarantee that a new partner wouldn't cheat as well. Given the circumstances, I actually think that the odds of my wife cheating again are lower than a new partner. My son also needs his mother, and she needs to heal before she can step back into that role. Will she heal faster and better if I divorce her? Or will she heal better if we try to reconcile? I don't know. It's driving me nuts. How can I know she is safe to be around my son if I'm not there with them? When it comes to my own healing, would I be better off alone or with her? Based on what I have learned here, it seems those who choose to jump to divorce don't heal very well. It looks like the best outcome as far as healing is concerned is when the wayward spouse actively contributes to the healing over a 3 to 5 year period at minimum. I don't know if she's even capable of that at the moment, to be honest. So here I am, terribly conflicted with a million questions in my head and basically zero answers. I still struggle with the two extremes, reconciliation or divorce, and everything in between. I can't deny that I still love my wife. It turns out my bond to her isn't that easily broken. I really, really don't want to love her. The prideful side of me wants to hate her, but I just can't lie to myself. I still love her deeply, and even though I fantasized about her getting hurt as badly as me the first few weeks, I don't want to hurt her or anyone. It wouldn't help me at all, either way. I see a long, painful road ahead of us. I hope I have the strength to stay the course and be patient enough to make the right choices for my family and me. The only thing I have been able to decide is that if I land on offering reconciliation, it will not just be given. I will need to see some effort. I will not offer reconciliation until I am absolutely sure we are two people 100% committed to that path. Also, if we do reconcile, she will basically be a prisoner on probation. I don't want to be that guy, but what choice do I have if I feel I can't trust her? Either way, we will need a lot of therapy. Maybe she doesn't even want to reconcile. I just don't know. Not being able to talk to her is starting to become a real burden for me. It's stressing me out. I feel I really need to talk to her. If anyone has any good suggestions for these conversations, I am all ears. Again, thank you all.